Welcome to Easy Stories in English, the podcast that will take your English from okay to good and from good to great. Today's pre-intermediate story is called 3 Kisses. I'll just explain some words that are in today's story. A ruby, R-U-B-Y, is a red gemstone, a red jewel. Rubies shine a beautiful red colour. If you see something that is a deep, beautiful red, you can say it is ruby red. Grief, G-R-I-E-F, is a deep sadness that you feel after someone you love has died. Many people express their grief by crying. It can take many years to overcome grief, to get over the death of a loved one. A servant, S-E-R-V-A-N-T, is a person who lives in your house and helps you do things. For example, servants do cleaning, cooking, and washing. Servants were very common in the past. The British TV show Downton Abbey is about servants. A dragon, D-R-A-G-O-N, is a mythical creature that is found in most cultures around the world. Dragons are big monsters with horns and claws that can breathe fire and eat people. Dragons like to collect treasure and hide it in their lair, such as rubies, and knights come to try and kill the dragon, although most of them just get eaten. In the TV series Game of Thrones, Daenerys had several dragons. A witch, W-I-T-C-H, is an evil woman, a very bad woman, who does magic. Witches go, they have black cats as pets, they wear big black hats, and they fly on broomsticks. The Shakespeare play Macbeth opens with 3 witches meeting in a cave. They say, "Double, double, toil and trouble, fire burn and cauldron bubble," which is now a famous expression related to witches. For example, in one of the Harry Potter films, the choir at the school Hogwarts sings this as a song. A seagull, S-E-A-G-U-L-L, is a horrible, nasty, fat white bird with a big mouth. Sorry, you can probably tell that I don't like them. Seagulls usually live by the sea, but in the UK you can find them in any big town with a lot of tourists. Seagulls are everywhere in my hometown, Bath, because they eat food that tourists drop or feed to them. This is how a seagull sounds. Horrible. Although I will say, since I originally talked about seagulls on the podcast, I don't hate them as much. Since I moved to London, I see far fewer seagulls, so I don't mind them now. They're just a nice seabird. But if they steal my pizza again, I will kill them. Courage, C-O-U-R-A-G-E, means being brave. Being able to control your fear in a scary situation. Traditionally, people show courage by fighting in wars. People say that doing stand-up comedy takes courage, but I think it's much easier than going to war or doing brain surgery, for instance. But hey, if you think I have lots of courage, then I agree. A slave, S-L-A-V-E, is a person who is owned by someone else and has to work for them. Slaves usually live in a separate part of the house. They get food and shelter, but they are not paid and they usually have no rights. In the past, the Roman Empire and the British Empire kept and sold slaves, and slavery continued in the United States of America until 1865. Smash, S-M-A-S-H, means to break something into lots of small pieces, usually glass. There is a Marvel superhero called the Hulk. He always says, "Hulk smash!" If you smash your phone, it's going to get lots of glass everywhere, and it definitely won't work anymore. A bathtub is the thing you put water in to make a bath. Bathtubs are usually long enough to lie down in, so you can lie down in hot water and have a nice bath. However, in America, they have shorter bathtubs than in the UK, and it is difficult to lie down in them. I don't know why this is the case. Okay, so listen and enjoy. 3 kisses. Once upon a time, there was a king and queen. They had a son called Godwin and a daughter called Leah. Godwin was handsome and strong, and Leah was beautiful and kind. She had long ruby red hair, and she was friends with everyone. But one day, when the children were still young, the queen got ill and died. The grief was too much for the family. The king's grief made him angry, and he often shouted at the servants. Leah's grief made her quiet, and she stopped talking to people. Godwin's grief made him want to leave. Seeing the castle and his family every day made him think of his mother, and he couldn't bear it. So one day, Godwin left. He sailed away to find adventure. He left a note which explained this, but this did not make his father or his sister any less sad. The king did not want to lose Leah as well. He noticed that every day she stood on her balcony and watched the sea. So he planted a rose garden there. Slowly, hundreds of white roses grew on the balcony, and with them, Leah began to talk again. She talked only to the roses at first, but then she started talking to people too. Still, she seemed to love her roses more than anything else. One day, Leah said, "Oh, I wish I could send a rose to my brother." She thought often about Godwin. As she watched the waves, she imagined him in faraway places, fighting dragons and killing witches. She had no idea if this was true. She didn't even know if he was alive. Just then, a seagull flew near the balcony, and Leah had an idea. "Ho there, seagull! Will you bring this rose to my brother?" The seagull flew down, and Leah put the rose in its mouth. Then she kissed the bird 3 times, twice on the cheek and once on the head. "One for fear, one for courage, one for love," said Leah. Then the seagull flew away across the sea. For many years, Leah continued to send flowers to her brother, each time giving 3 kisses to the seagull. No reply ever came, and the servants in the castle began to talk. Some said that Godwin had been eaten by a dragon, and others said that he had been killed by a witch. The king told his servants to stop saying such horrible things, but when words fly like seagulls, nothing can bring them down. Leah became quiet again, and the king did not want to see her that way. He thought that she needed a mother's love. So he sent a message to another country. He knew that there was a princess there who had never married. He sent her some of Leah's beautiful roses and asked her to marry him. To his surprise, the princess accepted. She came immediately, and although she was very beautiful, she was also very strange. She talked a lot, but she never talked much about herself. It seemed like she had many secrets. She was quite old for a princess, of course, so the king thought she was probably just very happy to finally have a chance at marriage. They had no reason to wait, so the wedding took place a few days later. Leah watched silently as her father kissed this strange woman. But when she saw that her father was happy, she became happy as well. Still, one thing Leah found very strange. The new queen had brought no servants with her. In fact, she'd brought very few things with her at all.